Hello and welcome to the Creative Habitat Knitting Podcast, episode 1. My name is Lana, and I'm a knitter and crafter and creative person living in Germany, southern Germany, and I'm very looking forward to sharing my crafting with you. So a little bit about me. As you can hear, I'm not German. I live here and it's a lovely place to live, but I'm from New Zealand, and my family is Dutch. So I moved to the Netherlands to study when I was, like 5 years ago. And I now live in Germany with my Dutch boyfriend, and I learned to knit when I was a child from my mum, and she taught me with old scraps of like baby yarn that she still had left over, which was very enjoyable, but I didn't get very far because fingering weight and my scarf just didn't grow very much, and I had big ambitions to knit a sweater for my dad, but that has yet to happen. I did knit a scarf a bit later on with thicker yarn and thicker needles, like 6mm needles, but that's about as far as I got. And then I picked up knitting a little over 2 years ago. I was crocheting also, and then I decided I wanted to make some socks, and I thought that socks look cooler knitted than crocheted. So I tried knitting socks, and now I'm still knitting. So I'm also very crafty and creative in other areas. I like to sew and paint, watercolor painting, and also just like make cards and all kinds of things. I did that a lot as a child as well. So yeah, I also really like nature and being outside, hiking. I used to sail when I lived in New Zealand, but not anymore. So I'm looking forward to showing you sort of what I'm up to, and let's get started then. I'm wearing my most recent finished object. This is the Shifty sweater by Andrea Mowry, and I made a size up from my measurements rather than size down, because I wanted it to be kind of a little looser and not so tight, and her version is meant to be more negative ease, so like quite fitted. So it's quite loose, as you can maybe see. I also knitted it in solid colours instead of like a variegated or self-striping yarn. So yeah, it's come out quite unique, quite different from what the pattern calls for looks like. But I'm very happy with it. It's I'll see if I can show you the colours a little more. So there are three colours, and I've used them in different combinations. And then on the sleeves, I had some other things that came into the mix. It sort of sits quite far back on my shoulders, as you can see here, but I like the way it hangs. And the yarn is very special yarn. It was hand dyed and hand spun by my boyfriend's mom, and she sadly is not with us anymore. So it's very special to be able to work with her yarn. She was a very amazing knitter and spinner and crafter, and yeah, she died around the time I was getting into knitting, and I would have really liked to share it with her more. So um, this is a way I can sort of share it a little bit, and it's really special to make this. So yeah, I've also knitted my boyfriend a sweater with her yarn, which I might show another time. I'll see. Yeah, so well, it's very special, and yeah, I don't know what yarn, what sheep breeds it is or anything, but yeah, I'll see if I can show you just a little bit more of the sweater. Sort of 3/4 length, you could say, and it's quite sort of, yeah, wide, and I did a green on this side and none on this side, so it's a bit quirky. Yeah, so that's my Shifty sweater. Okay. So bear with me. I'm going to move on to my current works in progress. So I hope I'm not speaking too fast or anything. I just need to get used to the whole new situation. This is what I'm currently working on. So it's the sweater number 15 by My Favourite Things Knitwear, and let's see. It's cables all over, and it's knit with Holst Supersoft yarn in the colour Brandy, and yeah, it's 100% wool, non-superwash, fingering weight, but I'm holding two together, so it's a DK weight sweater. And the needles are 4.5 millimeters. Yeah, so this is the first time I've really done cables. I done like a socks with the zigzagular socks, if anyone knows them, with like a zigzag along one side, which is technically a cable, but like I hadn't done this kind of twisted cables with a cable needle before. And I like how they feel. They're really squishy and nice, and yeah, it's also the first time I've done drop shoulder construction. So you knit the back first, you start at the neck, so it's top down, and you knit the back first and like keep increasing, and then you pick up for the front from this like diagonal cable kind of for the two fronts, and then you join them, and then you keep going, and then once you've got past the armholes you knit up, and then you connect it, and then you knit in the round. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. It's also it's going to stretch a bit when it's blocked, so it's supposed to be quite oversized, or at least a little bit like loose fitting. So we'll see how that works when it comes out. Yeah, I've been I'm a fan of the Pixabay knitting podcast, and so maybe I'm planning on entering this in the cone along. I know it's not woolly knit, but it is a cone. So that's my first work in progress. And then I don't normally have that much on the go at once, so this is actually more than normal for me, but it's my second whip. And these are just some socks as a present for my dad. My dad lives in New Zealand, so he's very far away, and I promised him some socks as a birthday present. His birthday's been, but the idea is that, well, his birthday is in spring, in August, but like if I give him socks, then he's not going to wear them anyway. So I promised him the socks, and I said, well, I could knit on them in my winter, and then by the time I get them, you know, finished and sent over, it'll be autumn for him. So the seasons are changing, so I'm trying to get it finished, get the socks done in the next couple of weeks so I can send them over. It's the first time I've knit him anything. And they're just quite simple socks with a 3x1 rib, 2x2 rib at the top, and then 3x1, and what's it called? Heel flap and gusset construction. I've just started the gusset, so it's a funny shape at the moment. Yeah, and it's like this navy blue yarn with kind of, well, tweedy bits of different colours in it, which I think is quite cool. Yeah. It's quite, it's commercial yarn I bought in the shop in town, in the Mühle, if anyone knows that, it's in Germany. I wanted it to be easy to look after and not like felt straight away. I want them to be able to put it in the washing machine and, you know, it to be fine. So, yeah, it's Lana Grossa. This is the label. If you can see, it's probably back to front, isn't it? Anyway, tweed, 80% wool and 20% polyamide. You can wash it at 40 degrees, machine washable. Yeah, that's 130 meters per 50 grams. Yeah, so, and I'm doing this kind of simple ribbed sock because I'm hoping that it will fit his foot nice and snugly and not fall down like sometimes. My boyfriend is not complain, but that's one thing that happens with knitted socks. They tend to be a bit looser than socks you buy in the shops. Yeah, so yeah, I haven't given my family that much knitting yet, and I'm hoping Dad will like it. If he does, then I'll be knitting more for him. Yeah, he has some knitted items from my grandma and I think my auntie, so knitting is in the family. Yes, so that's that. And that's about all I have to show at the moment, knitting wise. Yeah, I'm not going to try and do lots of knitting to make sure I have stuff to show. I'm just going to make the podcast as long as what I have. So that's what's on my needles. In terms of planning or what I would like to knit, my cousin and his partner are expecting a baby, and it's very exciting. It's the first time I have a baby in the family this close to me, if that makes sense. It's the first time I'm wanting to knit for a baby, so yeah, I'm thinking about what I could knit for them. I'm thinking like a hat or a little jumper or something, or a baby blanket. Yeah, and I'd like it to be, you know, something you'd get from your cousin and not from like your auntie or something, like something a little, I don't know, modern. How would you describe it? Yeah, so if anyone has any tips for baby patterns, then I'd be very much appreciated. Yeah. Another thing that I've been wanting to do for a long time is sew my own project bags, because I don't really have that many at the moment. Well, I just use like totes, like cotton totes, which work well, but it'd be nice, especially for sock patterns, to have like something with a zip that I can just like put in my bag or something. maybe with like a flat bottom. So if anyone has any good tutorials or patterns, that would be cool. So comment below. Yeah, that's around about that. I have a couple of books one that I have been reading that I just finished, and another one I just started. And I also have some paintings that I thought I would show at the end. Yeah. So, yeah. Also, I'm just recording on my phone at the moment, so yeah, any feedback on the quality, the sound, all of that is also appreciated. Yeah, this is a book that I've been reading for, it took me ages to get through, but it was really good. It's called The Invention of Nature by Andrea Wulf, and it's about the subtitle is The Adventures of Alexander von Humboldt, the Lost Hero of Science. And it's non-fiction. It's about Alexander von Humboldt, who was in the 18th century really one of the first people to kind of recognize the concept of ecology as opposed to like categorizing species and dissecting them and things. So how different aspects of nature like interweave and support each other, and if one thing gets pulled out, then the rest of the ecosystem changes. And yeah, I'm also quite into nature, and I nearly studied biology at school, but I didn't. I studied music, so if anyone wants to hear more about that, maybe you can do that another time. But yeah, just how actually a lot of how we view ecology now kind of got started by him, and it's amazing to read how much he understood at that time already. He travelled to South America and to Russia and Siberia, and collected information from scientists travelling all over the place, and how much he understood at the time about, you know, if we're logging the forests, then there's less water, and that's why the lake's going down. And people didn't understand that at the time. They just thought the lake's going down, getting drier. But yeah, so I found that really interesting, and it also goes into later thinkers who were influenced by him, including Charles Darwin and a few other famous people. So yeah, I'll put it in the show notes, or what do you say, the comment, the description box, the description box below. Yeah, and so that I've been reading on that for a really long time, and then when it was finished, I could start on another book that was given to me, and it's really cool. I'm not that far in yet. That's my bookmark there, but it's also planty and environmentally. I guess that's quite suitable in this kind of these days. It's called Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and she's a scientist and Indigenous Native American, and she combines her Indigenous background and the stories and the wisdom that she's received from her family, and the stories with her science background, and it's really nicely written. I'm really enjoying it. So I won't say too much more, but yeah, that's what I'm reading at the moment. Yeah, so I have one more thing to show you. These are here. So, as I said, I'm also into watercolor painting, and I picked it up again kind of not the last Christmas just passed, but the Christmas before that, when we had to stay in Germany, when we would have actually gone to family in the Netherlands, and we had a very quiet Christmas, and it turned out fine. But yeah, I picked up watercolor painting in that time, and I really enjoyed it. I have to say re-picked it up, because I used to do it when I was a child or like a teenager. But I followed some YouTube tutorials and yeah, learned some more techniques, how I could get certain effects, and I've been really enjoying it. So yeah, these are just some bits that I've been doing recently, and I'll try to show you. Maybe I'll manage a photo cutaway thing. We'll see how far my editing technicality, like how far I get with the editing. Yeah, so this is in my sketchbook. Sort of, yeah, a bit abstract. Know how it's going to come up on this camera. Yeah, and then I have two paintings, like loose paintings. There's this one. Trying to like peek underneath to see if it's how it's visible. And I have this one. Also a bit stormy skies and yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I hope this has been enjoyable to listen to and watch. I'll see how I go with editing maybe some pictures in of my paintings and such. And yeah, I hope you're well, and I hope you're enjoying your creative practice and your knitting and your crafting. I hope the weather's good, and I hope you're able to take some time for yourself with all of this. And yeah, take care. I'm going to enjoy the last of the sunlight, and yeah, see how I can edit this and the rest. Hopefully until next time. Comment below if you want to what you're knitting on, and if you have any cool book recommendations. Okay, bye!